Visceral versus intellectual knowledge. For more than 4 decades, I've differentiated between what I call intellectual knowledge, stuff we think is true, and visceral knowledge, stuff life experiences have demonstrated to be true. Visceral or gut knowledge is not necessarily more nor less true than intellectual knowledge, and I'm certainly not a proponent of listening to our instinct when confronted with something that flies in the face of what we've been taught. Things or ideas which we've defaulted to for years or decades and grown to feel are instinctual, when in reality what many call instinct is far too frequently prejudice that prevents us from growth. Now, when I say intellectual knowledge, I'm including things we know are true, though they may run completely counter to observation and reason. For instance, an extreme example of intellectual knowledge without visceral knowledge is my acceptance of subatomic theory. Though I believe in the power of science and am a huge proponent of the scientific method, my acceptance of atomic theory is 100% intellectual. I mean, who would believe that solid matter is mostly empty space at the subatomic level? I can't see the empty space, I can't feel it, but I accept our atomic theory as the best working hypothesis of reality available. A theory that has been demonstrated to be grounded in reality and that will be modified to align more closely with reality as further discoveries are made. Not all intellectual but not visceral knowledge is so discordant. From my earliest preteen years, I have been taught and accepted that things we are certain that we observe may be nothing more than optical illusions, tricks of perspective, or our minds filling in gaps of knowledge in order to create internal mental harmony when we lack data. My go-to example for this involves 21-year-old me sitting on a sidewalk with my back to the road, intent on fixing a flat tire on my bicycle. With nearly all of my attention focused on the task at hand and none of my view on the road behind me, I hear that hideous screech of metal on metal. Turning quickly, I see a car that has T-boned another at a traffic light. If a police officer had appeared from nowhere and asked me what happened, for a split second I would have provided my eyewitness account, an account I totally created within my mind. My back was to the intersection. I saw nothing, but my brain created a scenario that I believed true for a short synaptic second. This aha was a great gift that gave me visceral knowledge that not only can people be fooled, but I'm one of those people. Yesterday I experienced another transition from intellectual to visceral knowledge, though this was far more of a ha-ha moment than it was an aha one. Lying on my right side on a physical therapy couch with my right ear touching the couch, I hear an incredibly loud noise in my right ear, but a barely perceptible one via my left. The couches are close together, and as the one next to me is being raised via an electric motor, a cacophony of sound enters my right ear. Sound transmitted from that couch to the ground, from the ground to my couch, and then from my couch to me. To my right ear, it's loud, but my left ear, only hearing the noise via sound wave vibrations transmitted through the air, barely notices. Holy John Wayne, Batman, talk about an epiphany. Of course I've been taught since early childhood that the denser a medium, the more readily sound wave vibrations pass through it. I've watched dozens of old Western movies where someone places an ear on a railroad track to listen for the rumble of a distant train, and I've understood intellectually what was going on in the Old West cliched moment, but not viscerally. Yesterday's freight train loud right ear to the ground, soft as a whisper left ear in the air experience brought home a very mundane truth that I've known since childhood and transferred that intellectual only knowledge upon the additional grounding of visceral. There's no doubt that I'm old, but apparently I can still be taught.